Hello, this is Postdoc Chronicles week number 54. So in the past Postdoc Chronicles, I've always been telling that, the 54th Postdoc Chronicles marks the 1 year mark. But then I forgot that in 1 year, there's actually like 52 plus weeks instead of 54. I don't know why I thought of 54 weeks being equal to 1 year. But yeah, when I thought back, oh, wait a minute, it's 52 something years is equal to 1 year. So that means we're actually way past the technical 1 year of doing my postdoc here in Johannesburg, South Africa. Okay, and by the way, I was supposed to do this postdoc chronicles tomorrow, but then I just remember that I had an appointment with a dentist tomorrow, and then I think there probably there's a possibility that they'll extract some tooth out, and if that happens, I may not be able to talk very well tomorrow. So I'm just gonna do this now. So one thing I also forgot to mention from last week is that I actually got an Elstorm ticket, and it's like the ultra high VIP rate. It's like limited to 30 people, and this it's called VVIP. Is it gives you an opportunity to meet with the artist. So it's like a festival, like the Pop Summer Slam in the Philippines. So it's comprised of a lot of artists. So you have like Fuzigis or something, A3U, and then A3U is like a metalcore band, but I'm not really into them. But the band that I'm most excited for this event, it's called the Pirate Festival or the Pirate Fest, is of course Ailstorm. So I've been listening to Ailstorm before. Their latest album, I think from 2017, my album of my best album, metal album of 2017, No Grief, But the Sea. I have an original copy. It's really very good. All their other songs are really very outstanding. It's very catchy, and the vocalist Christopher Baus, he really captured that um pirate vocals. When you look you watch movies like Pirates of the Caribbean, or Black Sails, and you listen to how they conceive or how they think pirates talk, and then how they sing and stuff. It really captures that pirate tune, and I really love them. They have very good tunes, and when I watch their live concerts, they're really very so much fun live. So that I really got the ticket, and it's very nice here because the ticket here for that event is actually cheaper. It's like if you convert it to Philippine peso, it's like around 4,000 pesos. And if in the Philippines, I also usually watch metal concerts in the Philippines, and usually if you go to the route with the meet and greet and stuff like that, it's usually like near like 10,000 pesos. And in fact, even without that, like for example, in the Slayer concert, I don't think that has a meet and greet. I think the meet and greet one was the one in Pulp, but I watched the Slayer concert when it was like not the Pulp, concert that was just dedicated to Slayer. I believe there was no meet and greet, but like the front ticket was like around 8,000 or something like that. So I was really very surprised here that it's very cheap. Of course, one can argue that Ailstorm is not as high profile as Slayer, but still they're really well known in the metal community. So yeah, I was surprised at how cheap the ticket was. But anyway, it's gonna be September 7th, and I'm so excited to watch that concert. And also, so here in the video game right here I'm featuring, it's actually a new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. It was first released in Wii U, and when it got released, so I got this on the release date. It was released back in January when I was still in the Philippines. So I bought this in the Philippines, and when it was released, and it got a lot of criticisms because it recycled a lot of things from the Wii U. So basically, this is a Wii U release. They re-released it, and then they just added very few things, like some characters. Of course, they combined the new Super Luigi game into it, the harder game. But yeah, so I can see that to anyone who owns the Wii U, and then who bought this game, I can see it would be a rip off. But if you haven't played this game before, like me, because I didn't have a Wii U, it's a very nice buy. So right now I'm playing it because I'm really hyping for the Super Mario Maker 2, which comes out on June 28th. So within 2 days, it's coming out. And yeah, I think when that comes out, so I need to finish this game. But unfortunately, I'm currently stuck, in a stage with the puzzles, like the ghost house. So usually ghost levels in the recent new Super Mario series, they feature some puzzles, and I when playing this, you can play this, just go through the level and go to the castle and stuff, and then save the princess. But usually, when I play this, the new Super Mario Brothers series, they have this 3-star coins that are hidden within the level. That it's considered complete when you get all those 3-star coins. And every time I play, I never miss out on a star coin. So every time I finish a stage, even though I finish the stage, if I miss a specific star coin, I always go back. So I'm trapped in this stage where in the ghost house where I can see the star coin, but then I have no idea how to get into it. It's covered in all around all the places. So there's no way to access at the moment. So I'm trying to figure it out. Of course, I can Google it, how to do it, but I don't want to do that. I want to get my money's worth from this game. And yeah, when you Google it, what's the point? So usually I can Google I Google stuff when it involves like gymnastics with the jump. Like there's something I can reach even though I'm jumping properly. What am I doing wrong? Those things I can Google. But this, especially if it involves puzzle, if it involves thinking, it doesn't sit well with me that I'll just Google it. So I'm thinking hard right now how to go through that stage and collect. I can finish the stage, but then there's a star coin that I can't collect. So I'm still trying to figure out how to get that. But yeah, it's a very good game. Again, if you haven't played this one on the Wii U. And the nice thing is, of course, when I first bought it, I tried it with because I was still in the Philippines when I got it. Like I said, I tried it with friends and it was really fun. But right now, I'm playing it alone. But you can play it, a single stage with up to 4 people. The problem is, so you choose a character. You can be Mario, Luigi, and then Toad. But then the last choice, each player would have to choose either Nabbit or Pichette. And the problem with this is these are easy modes, especially Nabbit. Nabbit, basically, when he touches the enemy, he doesn't die. Okay, so the only thing that can kill Nabbit, I believe, I think he also has that when he falls, he also revives. The Pichette, I believe, is that when she falls, she like jumps back up. So there's like a single chance that when you fall to a platform, down a platform, you can be revived. And then she also gets this, mushroom, the crown mushroom thing that transforms her into a pitchet. It basically became a meme, with the bow set and stuff. But anyway, it's only the female toad can get that and can turn into Pichette. That's why I'm calling her Pichette. But yeah, that's the only problem. So if you have like 4 friends who are really good at Mario, one of them would have to do the easy mode. So it would have been nice, if each of you had a choice to all of you to be Mario or all of you to be Luigi. But I don't know why they have that decision. But I think after the release of Super Mario Maker 2, there wouldn't be any reason to buy this game unless you're really like me, like a hardcore Mario fan. But the moment you have Super Mario Maker 2, basically you can make your own stages that look like this, because the asset used on this graphics, there's like a template that uses exactly this graphical mode on the Super Mario Maker 2. So you can use something like that. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's the game I'm playing right now. But I'm trying to finish it again within 2 days before the news. Hopefully before the Super Mario Maker 2 comes out. But anyway, let's go to Postdoc. So this last week, rather, I concentrated on doing the DieX project. So like I said before, Subhadip gave me the code that he ran on his own analysis, and I having all the rest of the backgrounds, I ran it over the other backgrounds. So of course, the a lot of problems arise from his code, because he was running it on a different set of events. He was running it on the signal. So the moment I run it on my background, a lot of errors, cropped up, because a lot of like kinematical parameters, properties that were true on his set of events may not be true on mine. So for example, there's like first I ran it, it wasn't working, and then I looked over his code. I didn't want to do that, but yeah, I looked over his code, and then I noticed that he was defining a variable there that is dependent, that loops in terms of the number of leading jets involved. And then I believe he used the number 5 or 10 or something, and he said define this array with this size, and then there's another part of a program that basically access those arrays in terms of the jet size. But what he did not anticipate is that in my backgrounds, I have events that could generate more than 10 leading jets. So what happens is in his signal, it worked fine because maybe all his leading jets did not reach a multiplicity of 10. Okay, so when the program tried to access that array, it was fine. But then on my case, when I was running it, it was basically overflowing. Okay, so I fixed that, and then I look at around this code. The problem is I believe his cuts are too strong. So basically, in the code, what you do is when you look at your signal, and then you look at your background, you isolate these things called signal regions. Okay, so these are like specific bins with specific cuts and specific kinematical constraints, and then you look when you run your full analysis on your signal and on your background, you look how much of the signal survives in that specific signal region. So you can say, okay, in this specific signal region, my signal is higher than my background. So the cuts were that we did are effective in isolating the signal from the background. This signal region right here is not effective because the background is comparable to the signal, or the background is greater than the signal, or something like that. And sometimes in trying to go over, or in trying to assess what is happening on your events while the cut is running, you usually output these things called the cut flow. And basically what a cut flow does is it helps you um, to make sure that you know what is happening on your events while the code is flowing. Okay, so basically you can insert, well, this is the flow of your analysis. So right here you will say, okay, after I introduce this cut, let me check the cut flow. So what it does is, what you're doing is you're trying to assess how many programs are left. Sorry, not programs. How many events are left after you introduce a specific cut. Okay, and then you introduce another cut, and then you put again another cut flow in order to check how many events survive, and so on. And so far, I believe the cut flows that were introduced by Subhadip is so severe on the background, and some. So the thing is, after all the cuts have after all the events have passed through the cuts, nothing is left to go to the signal region, because the signal region, he defined it after all the cuts have already been done. So what's happening right now is there is no events. Most of our backgrounds, the signal region is like all empty. So when that happens, it's usually a problem. You don't want that. You want at least a few backgrounds left, because what is happening is, so one, it could be that your cut is very good, like no background is surviving. But another worst case is that maybe the background is there, but the thing is, you're not generating enough events for your cuts. So your cuts is too strong. You need a lot more events in order to be conclusive in saying that, hey, in this specific signal region, my signal is greater than my background. So that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to tweak the program to have this balance of cuts where you are eliminating your background against your signals, but not so much that you basically have like zero backgrounds left, and then you don't know in your conclusion whether to say we did not generate enough backgrounds, or whether the cuts are really effective in eliminating the background. So you have to generate enough events. So that's what we're doing right now. And then in the other project, the MUED, so I'm still contacting Roberto. So I'm playing around with this variable called the matching scale. It's like XQ cut in the mat graph or the Pythia run card, and it's basically this thing where that's where you do the matching, where you match the PT distribution produced by MatGraph and the PT distribution produced by Pythia. Because on one hand, I believe it's MatGraph. If it's on the softer region, it does not model the actual events well, and on the higher scale, Pythia does not model the events well. So what you do is you match them to the regions where they give the correct prediction to what is being observed experimentally. So that's why you do the matching. And the thing is, you actually manually pick. You can manually pick where this matching scale could be introduced. And there was a paper like years ago that said, that when you do this, it could induce a lot of uncertainty when you look at the PT distributions of your jets, depending on the algorithm of matching that you're trying to employ. So that paper had been done on SUSI. We're trying to apply that now to MUED, whether we see the same uncertainty that we have. So right now I'm playing around with that, but currently I'm more focused on this DAHIGS project, because we now have what we want. While in the MUED project, we're still trying to see which final variables we'd like to focus on, and stuff. But anyway, yeah. So this has been Postdoc Chronicles week number 54, and like I said, we're already beyond the 1 year mark, and I'll see you next time for Postdoc Chronicles week number 55. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.